Good evening, Falcon fans. It's your boy Berto, your host of the 95 North Falcons Talk Show. Folks, if this is your first time to the platform, I welcome you. And in welcoming you, I ask that you please hit that like, share, and subscribe button, man. Help my subscriptions and likes and shares and all that get up, man. Get my name through the YouTube universe, as my boy Smitty Smith says, through the YouTube universe. And I greatly appreciate y'all, as always. Credit Smitty on that one. But, folks, let's talk a little bit about defense. So much light, as I said in previous videos, man, so much light has been shown on the offensive aspect of it that not a lot has been, spoken of defensively. We all know Atlanta had made some tremendous hires this past offseason for the defense, notably Ryan Nielsen, who was going to be the defensive coordinator, notably Jerry Gray coming over from Green Bay. And you already see in this secondary through the clips provided through all the great Falcon content creators and major contributors, Falcoholic, Daniel Flick, everybody that's been to training camp, man, shout out to everybody, man. Thank y'all for making that possible, man. Guys like me here up north, man, I don't get to go to training camp a lot, but I get to, witness your clips and your input, via Twitter, so shout out to you all. The secondary with Jerry Gray's bringing in Jerry Gray, you can already see the stampings already being put on there. Today there was a great clip where we saw individual coaching one-on-one where Jerry Gray approached Jeff Okudah, and it looked like he was just passionately talking to him about what seemed to be fundamentals and stuff, and pretty much getting Okudah's head in the right place, and you appreciate that. I mean, I know all coaches do, but coming from a guy like Jerry Gray who has so many years of knowledge and within the NFL ranks and has seen so many of what we call all-pro and elite players that have gone through him. It's wonderful to see him, talk up guys like Jeff Okudah and AJ Terrell, which, might I add, maybe a top 5 tandem in the NFL by the end of this year. Praying on that. But with all those moves came a very underrated move back in February. The Atlanta Falcons announced at that time in February, I believe it was February 27th, if I'm not mistaken, they hired Dave Huxtable. Dave Huxtable was the defensive analyst for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Great program. We all know about Alabama, Roll Tide, Nick Saban, and, and such, always get the world-class recruits and stuff like that. But Dave Huxtable was there for the last 2 years, has seen a wealth of NFL-ready prospects, and in fact, he coached our very own 7th-round pick, DeMarco Hellams. And by the way, he knows a thing or two about stopping Bryce Young, so look for that to be a key factor in our Week 1 matchup against the Carolina Panthers, who we all know drafted Bryce Young first overall. But back to Dave Huxtable. Dave Huxtable has 40 years of collegiate level experience. He's been through multiple programs and has had success in every program he's ever stepped foot in. More notably, in 2018, him and Ryan Nielsen were defensive coordinator and co-assistant at NC State, which saw the Wolfpack just have a tremendous year defensively. I think they ranked 13th, if not mistaken, in run defense, and that's the key point: run defense. I think this is where the value of Dave Huxtable really comes into play. We saw, or we all know, or for those that don't know, the Atlanta Falcons finished in the top 16 last year as far as run defense. Not bad for a team deemed to be on the lighter side of a defensive front unit, and we all know that. Atlanta Falcons allowed 2,214 yards rushing as a team on 500 attempts and 15 touchdowns. While that helped us finish in the middle of the pack, around 16 or so, the addition of Dave Huxtable working alongside Ryan Nielsen, I think that number could be brought down even more. And I really strongly believe that this could be the backbone of this defense, is the run defense. Really keeping teams in that 3rd and long situation, allowing Ryan Nielsen to be real creative in his matchup coverages, his disguises, his blitzes, his stunts up the middle, or whichever way he wants to send the blitz. So bringing a guy like Dave Huxtable, who has already familiar coaching ties with Ryan Nielsen, I think that's the key factor. I think that's the key to this whole defense and unlocking a real real great defense. I really feel like the Falcons can have a great defense this year. I mean, I've been on shows as far as my own and with Smitty saying, hey, I think we can have a top 10 defense, man. And why not? We haven't had or reached that sort of level since 2017. That's the last time we had a decent defense on the field. So fast forward to now, as mentioned, I think the run defense is going to be probably the backbone to this defense, man. In all honesty, I really feel with the bodies that we've added up front, as we all know, David Onyemata, Calais Campbell, we have Timothy Horn, Carlos Watkins, Joe Graziano. So these guys up front are returning Taquan Graham. Unfortunately, we did have a small setback where Eddie Goldman went back on the NFL list or retirement list. So shout out to him. But we did sign Justin Big Jelly Ellis from the New York Giants. So I know he's going to help out in that aspect as well. But when you combine all these traits and you combine all this size, this is the biggest defensive line the Falcons have had in some time. Now you add in a guy like Dave Huxtable who brings a wealth of knowledge and knows how to really get the best out of certain players. And by certain players, I mean this is a guy that has coached up Bradley Chubb, and we also Bradley Chubb went 5th overall in the 2018 NFL draft to the Denver Broncos. This goes back to Dave Huxtable coaching or on the same coaching staff as Aaron Donald was when he was in Pittsburgh, and this goes even way back to the times where Keith Brooken was manning Georgia Tech down in the middle. And so Dave Huxtable has such a wealth of knowledge, and every program that he's been with, it's been successful. The Wolfpack in 2018 led the nation in run defense. I believe they finished 12th, if I'm not mistaken. Allowed only 109 yards per game to that effect. So I think that, with the right chemistry that we have on this team now, Dave Huxtable and Ryan Nielsen can make the same magic and propel this Falcons run defense, in that top 10, dare I say, even top 6, 7, man. It's really not out of the question, man. We've added all the right pieces. I feel confidently and strongly about this, man. So, yeah, I think that this was probably one of the most underrated coaching hires by our Atlanta Falcons. Dave Huxtable has seen a lot, worked with a lot of players at the Benz. So, yes, Dave Huxtable, over 40 years of collegiate level coaching. It was hired by our Atlanta Falcons back in February, but I think that the pairing between them two, Nielsen and Huxtable, is really going to pay major dividends in the run department aspect of it. I really think that this run defense could be, the strength of this Falcons defense, and it just allows the whole defense to maturate and all things to really unfold for us as the season progresses. But that's my little tidbit on Dave Huxtable and what he means to this Atlanta Falcons staff. I really think that he's going to help make this run defense better alongside Ryan Nielsen. But, folks, that's my take on an underrated hire by our Atlanta Falcons and Dave Huxtable. This is your boy Berto, your host of the 95 North Falcons Talk Show. Please join the conversation. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think about this hire. Ask a question in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer it. But let me know your thoughts, man. What do you guys think? Where do you see the Falcons finishing in tops in the NFL at the run defense category? What number would you put on the Atlanta Falcons? Again, this is your boy Berto, your host of the 95 North Falcons Talk Show. I will holler at y'all soon, man. Peace.